So today we're talking about ways we know it's time to let go a little bit, because I think we default to control because we can do it all, and we should, and it's just faster and easier. But the truth is we're kind of cutting cocoons for kids when we do that. So we're going to cover three areas where we can begin to look at letting go. And first is developmentally. Second is just kind of life stage. And finally, it'll be about us and the things that drive us nuts. Okay, so first, just developmentally. I mean, obviously, when our kids are infants to babies, there's not much that they're going to be doing for themselves. They're taking a lot in, they're developing and growing. We should kind of let them be free so their brains can develop and explore. But for the most part, we're full on. But by the time the kids are 3 or 4, they can sweep, they can help out around the house, they can actually do things with us. And I know it takes a little extra time to teach them, but if they're ready and developmentally able, we should let them. By the time they're junior high, that's another place where they can get added responsibilities, either to take care of siblings or to do their homework on their own and not have to nag them, just things like this. So let me cut to stages, because I think that's pretty obvious. Developmentally, we should let our kids and encourage them and expect them to do what they can actually pull off, physically do. Stages in life are cues as well. So when kids start going to school, that's kind of a stage that they're growing and able to handle more responsibility. When you think about all that they're required to do in school is a lot more than we ask of them at home. So I think we can kind of take cues from what they're allowed to and expected to do at school, be responsible for yourself, responsible for your work, stuff like this, and allow those things at home and require them. Ultimately, because of these stages, we have to really consider what we want when they're 18 and how we can gear all these junior high and high school so that by the time senior year comes, they can, here's your list, manage money, obviously know how to drive if you're in an area that is going to require driving, or if there's a transit system, they've got to be able to navigate the transit system. They've got to be able to cook something, or at least shop for things within a budget. They need to be able to do their own chores, take care of their own house. I mean, this is an awful lot, right? So senior year should really be about getting them as self-sufficient as possible. I just spent a year with Jordan going through senior year, and some things he was required to do was make one meal a week for a while, and ultimately now he's able to shop on $100 a week and do his breakfast, lunch, and dinners by himself and cook them on his own. He had to pay me rent this year, and rent was 1 week of allowance so that he could navigate living on 1/4 of his income. Obviously he was volunteering, going to school, and he was freelancing his video and photography. So I was really proud of watching him be able to do stuff. Kind of the perks, because I was able to trust him and he was pulling off so much, was I'm not going to nag you about your homework. I'm not going to nag you about a bedtime. I think you should, feel the weight of being really worn out and tired. And there were weeks where he finally said, you know what, I just need to go to bed early tonight. I can't do this. And ultimately, my goal for that year was to pull back as much as possible so that he could do his own thing. Ultimately, what happened was he became chess champion of the school because he spent a lot of days after school playing chess. He ended up with an entrepreneurship award for the arts because he was obviously freelancing. He was salutatorian of his class. I don't take credit for these. I don't take credit for any of these. You know why? Because I know senior year, he navigated this and made these choices on his own. If he didn't take care of himself or he didn't do this, this wouldn't have been possible. So I want you to really consider starting really in junior high, 6th, 7th grade here in the States, when the kids are like 9, 10, 11 and starting to get a little snarky back, they're ready for a little more responsibility and kind of build up however you most see fit. To be able to let them navigate senior year completely on their own, because that's your trial run for the rest of your life. I was really open to letting Jordan kind of fail and have some places where he stumbled, because then he could just learn or ask me or whatever. So it was really good to give him that freedom while he was still under my roof. The final place that is telling us we have too much control and we have too much say with the kids is when we are really stressed, feeling like we have to do everything, and they're driving us nuts. So if they're asking us like, well, what's for dinner tonight? And I don't like that and this and that, it's time for them to learn how to cook. If their rooms are always a mess and you have to additionally clean the whole entire house plus their room, it's time for them to clean their own rooms and learn to be part of a community and also do something else for the house as well, not just their rooms. So use your own cues as points of, hey, I think I don't really enjoy life at home and I really need some help. Put the kids to work, even if you have to teach them or, help them learn how to do stuff. Completely worth it, not only for you, but them in the long run. So I can't wait to see what you do with this one, and just be aware of it in the coming days ahead, because it takes some time to figure out, wow, what are they capable of? And just kind of start to be on the lookout for that.